Dear Atlanta restaurants, it is the everyday customers that keep your business afloat, not celebrities. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
Dear Atlanta restaurants, we gotta talk. It's been about a week since the Keith Lee restaurant apocalypse, and I wanna know, what have the restaurants learned? What have they improved on? What's the next step? Because after seeing these responses from some of the restaurant owners, it's disgusting, to be honest. I've already talked about it a little bit with the Keith Lee exposed video that I did, but I want to talk about Atlanta restaurants and a lot of our experiences and stuff I've been seeing on TikTok, Twitter, social media, because the responses just ain't getting it. And goes to what I was saying about you all not spending the money and cutting costs, because the PR nightmare that some of you all have put yourselves in doesn't really surprise me, because your restaurant is something that you think is a flip and you're not really investing in it. And I want to talk about it. So the Keith Lee Atlanta restaurant stuff has been talked about, and one of the things I saw was the responses to Keith Lee by the way of the restaurant. The Real Milk and Honey response was one for the books. Like y'all just don't have it. Like, y'all don't have it at all. So their first response was posting a TikTok or Instagram video of, who is Keith Lee? Who is he? You don't know who Keith Lee is? Goes into the culture of bouginess. I am a celebrity, I am rich, I don't talk to lower class folks. Y'all have this energy and y'all want to be the mean girl while also taking in the folks' money who you're being mean to. Like, the customers are what keeps you afloat. The customers. If folks who make less than $100,000 a year, because there's a lot of folks in Atlanta who make under $100,000. It's a lot of folks in Atlanta who make under $50,000, and they still go to these restaurants for the escape. So yes, they are going to these restaurants for good service and good food. I don't know why business owners are going on radio stations doing press about, oh, y'all just come for good food. You need to talk to your customers. You need to really talk and listen to your customers, because your customers are leaving y'all reviews. I don't know if y'all are checking it, maybe y'all are scared, but I'm going on some of y'all, reviews on y'all restaurants, and they are eating y'all up. Eating y'all up, and some of them are saying the same thing. And this is the problem why you all have to show up even more when a celebrity comes in, because you don't give good service and good food all the time. You cut corners. So y'all are not interested in making sure the business is good. Y'all making sure that the business looks good. Y'all are focused on making sure that the business looks good, because you will be having your staff trained to perfection. There will be no need to send the best server or have another bar. Like, there will be no need if y'all was doing it all the time. But see, y'all are not. So the people who are coming and keeping your restaurant afloat and like y'all making y'all bread and butter from, like, if y'all are not taking care of them, do you really care about the customer? Like, how can you sit here and say you care about the customer? And that was one of the things that Keith Lee, talked about in his comments about him not wanting to be treated like a celebrity. At the end of the day, Keith Lee is still a celebrity because he can go and do a video and talk about this. Unlike a lot of us, he can go and do a video to almost 20 million people on TikTok, and now we're all talking about it for a week. Now, the Real Milk and Honey first response was garbage. Then they released some very poorly written press releases. It was so bad. Like, I don't even want to read it. Like, the two press releases that they gave, they did not address the person who said they worked at the Real Milk and Honey, who made the comment about Keith Lee being autistic. We don't know if that person worked at their restaurant or not. Like, there's no way to be able to believe what they say. I don't trust them. Like, they're a business. They might have fired her today if she did work there, but I don't see anybody putting in that they work at this. I don't see nobody doing that. But what you should have done is condone ableism from the very beginning. You should have said that. Like, you don't tell us that y'all need to do research. Y'all need to do research before y'all start talking. You are not a random person on Twitter having a conversation. You are a business. You are a business. And you cannot come out here talking to customers like they are not the reasons why y'all are in business. It's like y'all have completely forgotten that if these people don't come and eat at your restaurants and stuff, you're not going to be making any money. Like you don't talk down to folks who are coming here spending money, because y'all are running y'all restaurants as if y'all are still in high school. Y'all are running these restaurants like y'all are the it girls, and oh girl, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Moving on, the Old Lady Gang has been dragged for the longest when it comes to reviews. Like, I think they have a 3.1 or 3.3. Been there twice, not a fan of it. I won't go eat again. I will refuse to go to eat at any Old Lady Gang. I just cannot do it. The other restaurant that Kandi owns, her entire own, have failed health inspection probably twice. That's Blaze Restaurant. They like, yo, girl. And what's interesting about this is, as much as Kandi is a likable person on Real Housewives of Atlanta, as much as she is the face of these restaurants and stuff, people like Kandi. The parasocial relationships folks have with Kandi makes them eat at the restaurants. It's not because the food is that good. You can honestly find the same food at Old Lady Gang at a Piccadilly. Like, no shade. Like, no shade. And cheaper, to be honest. Because I'm not understanding how I'm going on your website and looking at the menu, and you're charging $17, $18 for margaritas. I can go sit at a rooftop in Midtown and pay the same price for a margarita, and it's a premium margarita with a premium atmosphere. Like, I'm walking into the restaurant, I can tell it's clean. I'm not walking into the restaurant and seeing gnats and smelling the bar as soon as I walk in. Like, that's some of the comments that people are leaving at your restaurant. And I can also sit at this restaurant and not have to be sitting in Medea's lap next to me. Like, girl, like, y'all are packing all these folks in this restaurant because y'all had to cut corners and cut costs to make money because y'all capitalists. That's the biggest problem. As much as folks are being upset, like, these folks are huge capitalists. Some of these business owners are not mom and pop shops and local. They are owned by folks who own properties and real estate and all that other stuff. Y'all are a business. Y'all are not mom and pop shops that, oh, we've been running this restaurant for 30 years. That's what y'all want to appear to be. Oh, we've been running this restaurant for 30 years. I passed it down to my great grandson and whatever. Like, it's not that. And some of y'all, because the original owner of The Real Milk and Honey has came out and said that she doesn't own that restaurant, she owns the bodega. Not a mom and pop shop. Keith Lee should have never went to that restaurant. No shade, to be honest. He should have never went to any of these spots. He should have went to local, like, food trucks, small business owners. These folks are big capitalists, and they want you to know that they are very rich. They want you to know that they are very rich. And people like this, who are really only focused on making money, homegirl sold The Real Milk and Honey. She said she sold the restaurant to The Real Milk and Honey. So how are y'all sitting here saying y'all care for community, y'all building these restaurants, y'all want to be black owned, but y'all are selling the culture to the highest bidder? Y'all are no different than the white folks, to be honest. And that's my major critique when it comes to these restaurants, because if y'all are doing the same thing that white folks are doing and y'all doing it even worse, why do I need to support? I'm not interested in supporting a restaurant just because it's black owned and the people who work in the restaurant are being paid low wages. They're being worked to the bone. They're not being provided any type of health care or any type of, like, benefits. Are they getting days off? Are they getting vacation, sick pay? A lot of these restaurants are not giving that. So why do I need to be hyper-focused on coming to your restaurant because it's black owned when you're a black capitalist like any other person and you exploiting labor? I can just go to any restaurant for that. I'd probably go to a restaurant that is cheaper and have better service. Like, as much as we want to say that black folks tear folks down, black folks are not tearing people down like that. Black folks are not very quick to criticize other black folks. Like, you see, even now in just the comments, like, I'm reading on TikTok and stuff, even my small comments, people are pushing back. Even Keith Lee's small comments are being pushed back. Folks are upset, like, let these businesses run, let them do that. But these businesses are solely moving in a very capitalist way, and you can see it is clear as day. There is no reason while y'all are charging $17 for drinks and it's coming in a plastic cup. That means that you do not want to spend the money on buying glassware each and every week or replacing it every month. You're not interested in it. Y'all are cutting corners. And honestly, a lot of y'all are terrible with the environment. Y'all are hurting the environment. I don't honestly have a problem with some of these restaurants closing down, especially big restaurants. Everybody doesn't need to have a restaurant. Every one of y'all don't need to be a successful restaurant owner because y'all are only moving in capitalism. Like, it's not about, hey, doing this, provide this for community. This is a service for the community. And also, this provides income for me and my family. Y'all are taking money and buying houses and being landlords and doing other stuff. Y'all are capitalists, and I'm just not interested in supporting y'all because y'all are black owned. Just not interested in it. What also got me is the conversation about service. A lot of y'all have bad service because y'all don't train y'all staff correctly and y'all not paying y'all staff correctly. That is the big thing. Like, the reason why the staff is mean or tired or irritated is because they're underpaid. Go to any Walmart. Walmart employees are some of the most underpaid employees at any retail store. Like, the lowest of low. There have been reports and articles about Walmart having a significant amount of people who work for their company who also receive food stamps. And where do you think these people are spending their food stamps at? At Walmart. So Walmart is paying low wages, and the money that the federal government is giving these people to, you know, help them out, they're spending at Walmart. So they're double dipping. They're double dipping. And there's a reason why Walmart has some of the worst customer service, because the wages are terrible. Like, terrible. That's why some of these jobs that pay that's why a lot of jobs that pay very, very well do not have a high turnover, because these folks ain't letting it go, and they have good service. So they ain't letting it go. But there's a reason why a lot of y'all restaurants have high turnover rate. Like, some of these black-owned restaurants have been accused of stealing wages. There's a couple of restaurants in Atlanta that have been sued recently and have been called out for stealing labor. Do your research. You know who I'm talking about. And it's no shade. It's just no shade. It's just the truth. I'm not surprised, because this is the way capitalism moves. Like, y'all want to be rich. So Kandi did a response. She speaked on it, and she addressed everything except the criticism that she's been getting for the last couple of years about the service at the restaurants that she owns. People have been criticizing Old Lady Gang for a minute. And she's, did another response on the red carpet at BravoCon, I think it was. And she said, Keith Lee has to understand that he's a celebrity. Of course we're going to treat him right. Of course we're going to, give him star service. But it's just, girl, how can you provide that when you do not know if he is coming in at this time or whatever? Like, that's why they were so interested in finding him and reaching out and working. Kandi doesn't need any more notoriety. She doesn't need any more restaurants open. She needs to figure out the ones she already got open. She needs to figure out those. They don't need to open up no more damn restaurants. No shade. Y'all don't need no more. Like, y'all don't absolutely need any more. But it's also funny that Kandi, wants to talk about service, but was dragging a worker at Chick-fil-A a couple of years ago or whatever for not saying, "My pleasure."
I just came out of the Chick-fil-A line, and this bitch just hit me at the end with, "Of course." I thought they supposed to say, "My pleasure."
Like, Kandi, your restaurant has a 3.4 star on Google and Yelp. Like, your restaurant has been known for terrible service. Fix that. Fix that. And I know the more volume you do is harder, but if you're doing that, then fix it. Invest in the infrastructure. You already charging for everything. You charge for parking. Like, y'all nickel and dime everything. What is the customer getting out of this? Just being in a black business? Because y'all are really selling off of parasocial relationships. Like, y'all started as taking a picture with these folks. You're being what Atlanta is, which gets into my next thing. We are part of the problem of what's going on at these restaurants. The reason why these owners feel so comfortable responding in a shady way and with these shady press releases and TikToks and stuff is because we allow them to. We allow them to. We allow them to. And it is because of us wanting to be exclusive. I loved FD Signifier's video on the whole situation with Keith Lee and Atlanta restaurants. He did a really detailed analysis about Atlanta and the culture and the folks who owe black money and how everybody wants to be exclusive. Everybody wants this exclusive thing. It's the same thing that reminds me of everybody's pushback on Delta with their little side thing or whatever. I don't know what it, I ain't never been in, I don't make that type of money to be in there. But people love posting that they are in these spots at the airports and stuff. Everybody wants to be exclusive. It's the reason why this doesn't even just stay with Atlanta restaurants. It also transfers to the clubs. The clubs don't even have big dance floors anymore because everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody. So it's like the business have caught on. They respond, oh, everybody wants to be in VIP. Let's put couches and sectionals everywhere and have everybody VIP. Period. And we'll even charge even higher for the VIPs of VIPs and have you sit above everybody and charge you even more money so you can appear to be a celebrity. These restaurants are responding, these businesses are responding to the customer. A lot of these restaurants are not good with marketing, so they have to tap into what people want. Yes, if I see that this hole-in-wall spot, hookah spot, they ain't spending no money, they getting high like returns and stuff, I'm gonna open me one up too, period. I'm gonna open me one up too. And you know what, I'm gonna have a celebrity from some show up and do a couple of what's names and that's it. Like, as much as we dragging these restaurants are responding to what we want. We all want to be celebrities. We all want to be exclusive. And we cannot be. We all broke. Majority of us are broke. And that's another thing. Like, it's escapism for us. We want to feel like we rich, but we're not. But we want to appear. Like, there's a reason why folks go to clubs and get sections and stuff, and they come out with the sparklers and stuff. They don't spend no money on it. It's just the sparklers. Like, we are amazed by that. We are amazed by that because it makes us feel good. I've fallen trapped to it. Not anymore. Not anymore. I can't. It's too expensive. I can't do that every weekend. I can't do it. I also really love Yannick on TikTok. She did a very good analysis as well. She was sharing in her video that a lot of these restaurants have rules and things because they do not have systems in place.
I want to explain what actually happened when Keith Lee came to some Atlanta restaurants. And if you don't know me, my name's Yannick, and I've been helping entrepreneurs establish systems, strategies, and structure so that they can win and not be stressed out. Let me tell you, this situation was stressful. All of these restaurants have unique rules, and it's because instead of establishing systems and structures, what they do is they transfer the responsibility of the lack of systems and the lack of structure to the customer. So instead of them finding a way to support the demand on their product, they create rules to facilitate their lack of organization.
And she went in detail and she talked about how business owners, drag the customers and say the customers, want so much, like, oh, y'all want so much. But it's like, girl, if you're saying that the customers push boundaries and all that, what do you think you do? You do the same thing. We all do it. So you can't respond that way. You have to keep it professional. And that's why you see these restaurants responding in a very tacky way. Y'all want to appear and seem to look like a Fortune 500 company. Y'all want that status and that symbol, but y'all are not investing in the money to make sure that y'all could possibly get there. Not saying it will happen, but hire somebody who has knowledge on these things. Yannick did a really good job. Also, Francesca Ramsey on TikTok did a really good job about how she would have responded with the press release, talking about, hey, we don't condone ableism on any, period. Now you have videos on TikTok going viral from people with autism who are saying they would not go eat at the Real Milk and Honey, given that they had an employee who said something like that. The way to eat that up is to say, hey, we don't condone ableism, period. Period. Y'all want to run these places like y'all at y'all house. Yes. Even to Little Baby's restaurant, frying the fish and the shellfish in the same grease. Yeah, you can probably do that at the house. You are a business. You cannot do that. You are a business. Yes, there's some stuff that I can do in my house when I'm cooking, but when it comes to cooking professional for people to eat, I can't do that. Because I have to think about everybody else, not just me. And that's what happens. Y'all think about what you like, which goes back to what Unique said in her video, is that if you think the customers have a boundary problem and pushing boundaries, what do you think you are doing? That's why you have to get somebody to tell you, no, this ain't gonna work. We don't need to do this. This ain't good. But y'all don't want to spend the money. Y'all don't want to spend the money, and I see it. Like, y'all are not investing in these restaurants. If y'all are seeing a big demand on to-go orders and folks wanting to order food on the weekend because they can't get sat, then hey, you know what? Let's build a station or another kitchen or something to be able to deal with some to-go orders. But y'all cannot do that because your kitchen is already overwhelmed. Your kitchen is already overwhelmed. There are a lot of restaurants in Atlanta that even on a weekend, they be booked, they still do to-go orders. It might be one weekend they say, hey, not this weekend. But if y'all are seeing that, investing, but y'all cannot do it because y'all are not spending the money that these other big restaurants are spending to make sure they have an adequate kitchen to be able to deal with it. Y'all don't want to spend it because y'all don't have the capital. Y'all don't have the capital because y'all can't afford to be closed down for a month to do renovations. Y'all can't. Y'all are not investing in y'all business. Y'all are investing on the idea of being rich, which is why y'all enjoy parking y'all AMGs and G-Wagons in front of the business. I can't tell you how many times I went to restaurants like the ones that they call a grass wall restaurant, where the owner is parked in front. If you are an owner, you need to park your car away from the front. There's no need for you to be taking up 2 parking spots. But y'all want to, like, this is my stuff. This is my, like, big dog. Y'all don't care about these restaurants. Y'all want to be a celebrity. And the way to have access to it is to say, I own 2, 3 chains. Y'all want that so bad. Y'all also want to be exclusive. The same way that the customers want to be exclusive, the people who are running these businesses want to be exclusive too. It's just a different type of tax bracket. But these are my thoughts. I know this was, more than just a Dear Atlanta restaurants. I know this can apply to a lot of restaurants, but there's just something that I've been noticing in restaurants in Atlanta. And I hope that we can, fix this. Now, I will say my little small critique, and I did a video more breakdown about how I feel about Keith Lee on Patreon. Check it out. But one of the things I will say is that the restaurants that Keith Lee went to are not Atlanta. They are Atlanta TM. Those restaurants are not restaurants I'm going to. A lot of us are not going to the restaurants. I'm so sorry. There are a lot of Atlanta restaurants that do pretty good brunch, and they are not having the same issues that Keith Lee had at these restaurants. Take that what you want. I will be bringing back my reading the menu when I go to these restaurants, try them out, do a review, vlog style, and talking about my experience. I am bringing that back. So if you have any restaurants in Atlanta you want me to try, let me know in the comments. And until next time, talk y'all later.